Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets went back, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
Let us pray. Eternal Father, creator of all things and source of all truth, source of the light that never dims and the love that never fails, life of our life, Father of our spirit, draw near to us, and by the remembrance of your ancient mercies, teach us and lead us nearer to you. By all our conflicts, by all our aspirations, by all our fears, by all our joys and sorrows, teach us and lead us nearer to you. We thank you for the sequence of events that have brought these family, friends, and faculty to this moment of celebration. We thank you for each one of these students, for the opportunity they have had to discover truth and to grow mature in mind and character through their academic years at Coronado High School. Thank you for the achievements each has accomplished during their high school years. Look with favor upon each of these graduates today. Help each student to grow in understanding, in appreciation, and in loyalty to the highest and best. Give them courage, vision, and a willingness to sacrifice. Help them to stand firm in time of stress, and help them to achieve a clear mind and a singleness of purpose in all they set out to do. Give each student a sense of purpose, a goal, and help each one to excel in everything. Amen.
On behalf of the Coronado's graduating class of 1989, I would like to welcome everyone here today, family, friends, and school board members, to the special celebration which we have worked so hard for the last 4 years, and we welcome you out here today. The guests to my right are Mr. Norvell Simpson, Dr. Paul Kemp, Dr. Don Christ, Dr. Carol Fillenberg, Dr. Al Ramirez, Miss Janice Haley, Miss Lynn Peterson, Mr. John Bushy, Reverend Don Thomason, Mia Shapiro, Colin West, Militia Swab, and Miss Doris Kane. To my left are Dr. Joe Hansen, Mr. Jose Maldonado, Dr. Michael Hogan, Miss Christine Arguello, Miss Frances Jenkins, Dr. Ben Glidden, Reverend Keith Hidstrom, Don Smith, Michelle Jensen, Dr. Kenneth Burnley, and Mr. Horace Richardson. Our first speaker is Mia Shapiro.
Ago, we were smart-mouthed, know-it-all, junior high graduates, strutting into high school with all the world at our feet. Now, we're still smart-mouthed, and we know more than ever. So what's changed? Now we realize that sometimes that world down there, among our Reebok and Adidas, that world begins to creep upwards, finally standing over us, shoving us down among the dreaded pond scums of our existence. We all know that uncomfortable feeling when things start creeping. Like now, we've reached that long-awaited moment. The countdown is over, but look around. There's no fireworks, and I must have missed the shooting rockets. Day still turns into night, the stars still shine, and my mother still tells me to clean my room or else. In other words, life goes on and doesn't wait for anyone, even a Coronado High School graduate. So what happens now? We step out of our doors one fine spring day, find the person of our dreams, conquer the world, and manage to make it back home in time for the Cosby Show. I definitely know what I'm going to be doing. Living in a mansion, owning my own private jet. How? You ask eagerly, eyes popping, tongues hanging out. Just leave your name and numbers at the beep. Your social security number, credit card number, oh, and only a small start kit required. Ah, you poor misunderstood crusaders with your underhanded pyramid schemes. I know, you're just trying to keep that good old Egyptian culture alive and kicking, right? The world out there is a beast, and it is hungry for all of us. If we let it, the beast will feast. I'm not talking about the brainless monster you encounter in sophomore hall. I'm speaking of darker beings masquerading as Ed McMahon or other entities hiding in the folds of Italian linen suits. The wolf in sheep's clothing is ever present among us. So, if someone baws at you, check real good under their tail to make sure they're who they say they are. Whatever you do, never be afraid to go left when others are turning right. Dare to be bare while the rest sport clothes. For if you become just another clothed soul, the crowd will swallow you up, chew you up, and spit you down. Up, up, down. By bellowing up, up, and away, a geeky wimp in colored tights managed to soar above the rest. If Clark can do it, anyone can. Don't stop at the top, for the top is someone else's definition of how far you can go. Create your own top and make it boundless. Keep adding branches to the tree of life, and maybe someday, together, we can build a tree house.
Our next senior speaker is Colin West.
How many of us remember August 20th, 1986? It was the day of our sophomore orientation, and on that day, counselors told us that we were the biggest, brightest class to yet enter Coronado. They were wrong. They underestimated us. We are not simply just a class. We are a generation. As a class of '89, we are a generation because we inspired a new attitude here at Coronado High School, an attitude of success, and we indeed succeeded. We earned 5s and 4s on the AP Chemistry and History exams. Women's soccer advanced to the state tournament. We won awards in cabinet making and auto mechanics. One of us had our artwork tour the entire nation. We became National Merit Scholarship finalists, state champions in wrestling and track. National Honor Society reached new heights under our leadership. Each and every one of us accomplished something at some time at Coronado. I cannot relate to you all these accomplishments, for we have family, relatives, teachers, and friends in that audience. And for them at least, we must seem humble. Many would argue that our new attitude was not entirely beneficial. In fact, we became a sort of pariah among other high schools of our city. This is not due to Coronado's actions, but due to their jealousies. After our graduation, we must continue to aspire for achievements. Yet we cannot dedicate ourselves to the ideals of life, liberty, and the pursuit of BMWs, as our society so often does. Instead, let us yet again inspire a new attitude on the halls outside of Coronado. Let us create a new definition of success concordant with the views of Ralph Waldo Emerson. A success whereby, quote, we laugh often and much, win the respect of intelligent people and the affection of children, earn the appreciation of honest critics, and endure the betrayal of false friends. Let us appreciate beauty, find the best in others, leave the world a bit better, whether by a healthy child, a garden patch, or a deemed social condition. To know even one life has breathed easier because we have lived, end quote. These terms will become our new criteria of success. It is now June 6th, 1989. We are 3 years past that sophomore orientation and roughly 30 minutes from our senior graduation. As the class of '89, generation of '89. We will remember our achievements, inspire new attitudes, recall one another's presences, and lead a new generation and a new definition of success. On this day, Coronado graduates, we are not so much leaving Coronado High School as we are entering a new world. A world we shall change.
Next, we have Melissa Schwab.
Good morning. As we are about to graduate, our friends and relatives offer us words of wisdom about our futures, the real world, and about our much hoped-for successes in life. We are also aware of the many problems that face us. There are certainly new ones cropping up every day, in addition to the old ones that were presented to our parents and our grandparents. The repercussions of AIDS, the greenhouse effect, and vanishing rainforests are just to name a few of the overwhelming obstacles we have yet to overcome. But today, I'm not asking any one of us to concentrate on these immense problems, but rather, let's focus on a simple and perhaps old-fashioned message. As new graduates, let us begin to make our impact on the world by just being kind to one another. I realize that sounds like a cliche, but apparently it hasn't been said enough. If there's anything I've learned in high school, is that kindness will get you everywhere. By simply applying the golden rule to my friends, my teachers, and my counselors, I not only received kindness and respect in return, but most of all, friendship from them. If we can take this small example and apply it to our every endeavor in life, I think we will find the world a little bit better than it was when we found it. Well, according to the movies we see and the magazines we read, the way to achieve ultimate success in life is not through kindness. Yes, somehow, somewhere along the way, our priorities have gotten so twisted and jumbled to the point that it is no longer shameful to admit that material goods and power are more important than family and your fellow man. It has even come to be an attitude we point out in ourselves and others with pride. But I'm telling you, success doesn't mean go only to the best college or go make $1 million. Real success is when through your actions you've made a real impact on the world. But let's face it, not every person graduating today can make his effect on the world by halting the greenhouse effect or by curing AIDS. But that doesn't mean that everyone graduating today can't be successful in his own way. Everyone can do his part to save our world, and we do need to save it. Don't be fooled if you wake up 15 years from now with an overdue mortgage and 3 kids and think you're not successful. Because if you work with pride and honesty and those kids have morals and intelligence, then you are a success and you have fulfilled a very important purpose in life. The people who find themselves only with $1 million home and an expensive sports car can only leave behind a rotting house foundation and a rusty piece of metal, while you have left behind life. So today, I'm challenging each and every one of us to do something about the one part of the complex world we do have the power to affect: our own selves, our families, and our homes. I'm asking you to hold the people in your life more valuable than the things in your life. If the old cliche of saving the world is to become reality, it will have to be one man and one family at a time. But it's up to us, and I think we can do it. My advice to you, my fellow graduates, is not to go gain all the money and power you possibly can. I'm asking you to do something a lot harder.
I'm asking you personally, to take control of the problems within your power. I'm asking you to reevaluate your morals and your principles and rediscover and preserve what's really important in life: kindness, the family, and humanity. Thank you.
Graduates, parents, relatives, friends, and staff. First, I would like to thank you parents and the rest of your families for allowing us to share your sons and daughters. We have gathered here today to celebrate the accomplishments and the commencement of the Coronado High School class of 1989. This class has distinguished itself in many, many ways. It is a class that the staff and the undergraduates of Coronado have looked to for leadership and trend setting. It is a class that has had real class. We are very proud of their many accomplishments and their contributions to our school. Two distinguished members of this class are on the platform with us. I would like to introduce to you the valedictorian and the salutatorian of the class of 1989. Will Don Smith, our salutatorian, please come forward? Don has a grade point average of 4.463. She took 14 honors classes and 8 advanced placement classes, earning a total of 43 A's. Don will attend the University of Colorado at Colorado Springs this fall. Congratulations, Don. Michelle? Our Coronado class of 1989 valedictorian is Michelle Jensen. Michelle literally nosed out Don by 1/100th of a point. Actually, that was it was really 1/13,000th of a point, and we couldn't decide which sounded the closest. Ending her GPA, or ending her career with a GPA of a 4.476. Michelle took 13 honors classes and 18 advanced place classes. Michelle will attend Georgetown University this fall. Our congratulations to you, Michelle. Both of these young ladies have worked very hard and are a tribute to their families and certainly to Coronado and School District 11. Class of 1989, your commencement marks the end of some very important events of your lives. It also signifies the accomplishment of a goal that you and your parents had in mind 12 or 13 years ago. You now have the foundation of achieving excellence. You have been given the tools to succeed. What you do with these tools is up to you. Many of you are going on to further education, others into the military, and others into the workforce. I challenge you to set your goals high. Be all that you can be, as the Army says. Our hope is that you will make a contribution to your community and to our nation, that you will become productive citizens. We believe that your education at Coronado will serve you well in your next and in your future endeavors. You are the product of a fine public school. We ask that you remember this and support public education in your community. We need your ideas, your participation, and your support on important issues facing publication in our community and across the nation. We are very proud of your past accomplishments and look forward to reading about your successes in the future. Congratulations and our very, very best wishes. Dr. Burnley, I present to you with great pride the Coronado High School class of 1989, all of whom have met the requirements for our graduation.
The night before, the sky did open up and a great rain fell upon the land, and thunder and lightning did dominate. But lo, the morning of, the sun did shine bright and dry up all the water from the land, and the sky turned blue because the Cougar Coronado graduates were graduating too. As superintendent of schools, you're blamed for a lot of things. I would like to take full responsibility for this morning's weather. Friends and guests, only the graduates know what you mean to them and the help you've given them along the way. Faculty and staff, you're where the rubber meets the road. You're the ones who prepared them for this moment. And to the class of '89, while this is your moment in the sun, indeed your moment in the sun, none of us, none of you have gotten where you are by yourself. In short, no person is an island unto themselves. So look around you. I'm sure you have an idea where your parents are sitting, where your favorite teachers are, where your friends are who shortly will be cheering wildly. Why don't we stand and give them a hand for all they've meant to you?
Thanks, Mom!
It is indeed a sense of pride, and I really can't feel at this moment the way you do now. Whenever I hear pomp and circumstance, and I do 6 or 7 graduations a year, I still get goosebumps because there's a special moment. But none of us watching now feel the way you do, with the great joy, the apprehension, and all that goes into being a graduate. Mrs. Kane, members of the administration, have done a fine job in preparing this class. And Mrs. Kane, you have presented them for acceptance as graduates this year. I turn now to you, the graduates, and I ask you but one question. Should I accept? As superintendent of schools, I have reviewed the credentials of this graduating class and do certify that they have met all the graduation requirements established by the state of Colorado and by the Board of Education of District 11. And I do thereby accept them as a Cougar Coronado High School graduating class of '89. Class, congratulations. And class, I now present to you Mr. Horace Richardson, member of our Board of Education, who is your commencement speaker, and on behalf of the Board of Education, will accept you, my recommendation for you as the graduating class for Coronado High School. Mr. Richardson.
Graduates, families and friends, distinguished guests, yes, I am the last speaker up here this morning. I must admit that I stand here as a member of the older generation, humbled by the mature comments that our 3 student speakers offered several minutes ago. I congratulate you. And it is a glorious morning, no question about that. Last year at this time, as the wind howled through Gary Berry Stadium, I attended my son Eric's graduation from Coronado High School, and next year I will be here once again watching my daughter Stacia receive her diploma from Coronado. And this year, as a newly elected District 11 school board member, I have the honor of addressing you, the graduating class of 1989. My wife Helen and I have had the privilege to become well acquainted with many of the teachers, administrators, and staff at Coronado, and I want to take this opportunity to publicly thank them for their dedication to the education of young adults and their goal to help each student work to his or her potential, providing support and encouragement in the best and worst of times. Thank you for a job well done. Graduation is an exciting time for you and your families to celebrate, and I understand there's been much celebration going on. A time to reflect on the last 3 years of hard academic work, on involvement in extracurricular activities, and on friendships that have filled your lives to date. Traditionally, commencement speeches focus on the accomplishments of the class, wish everyone well, and send the graduates off in search of a rosy future. And I certainly want to congratulate you on your numerous achievements. Your principal, Doris Kane, has notified me of the many scholarships that have been awarded to members of your class. I'm also aware of the athletic, vocational, and extracurricular accomplishments that you have achieved. These are truly impressive. Congratulations indeed. And let me add my sincere wishes for a successful and fulfilling life. Graduating from high school is without question a major event in a young person's life. An important part of your life, your secondary education, has been completed, and having been supported by your parents and the educational system, you're now off on your own. Today, I come to talk with you about the changes that have taken place from my world to your world, and the challenges and the responsibilities that lie ahead in your future. Those of here today who are 45 and older, and I guess there are a number of us who fit into that category, we would probably agree that when World War II ended in 1945, our world then differed drastically from the world of 1989. We were born before penicillin, polio shots, frozen foods, plastic, contact lenses, frisbees, and the pill. And before men walked on the moon. We had never heard of artificial hearts or organ transplants, of electronic typewriters and word processors, and software wasn't even a word. We were before house husbands, gay rights, computer dating, dual careers, and commuter marriages. We were before daycare centers, group therapy, and before TV, VCRs, Walkman, and laser discs. In our day, this is going to be a tough one. In our day, grass was mowed, Coke was a cold drink, and pot was something you cooked in. Dr. Tom Howerton, who's the chairman of the Colorado State Board of Education, has compiled a lengthy list of these changes, and it sure makes for interesting reading material. But change, folks, change is inherent to the nature of life, and we have to cope with it and adjust. And for the most part, change is good and enhances our quality of life. The changes that have taken place in our lives are insignificant, however, when one compares them to the dramatic, mind-boggling changes, innovations, and problems that will confront you. 30 years from now, one of you, having been recently elected to the school board, could be standing up here addressing the class of 2019, and that commencement speaker would be listing all the changes that have occurred in his or her lifetime. That new school board member may well list such things as boundless energy from nuclear fusion, superconductivity and levitating trains, cities floating on the oceans and cities built underground, ample fresh water from salt water conversion, lunar colonies and interplanetary travel, mining the depth of the ocean floors, agricultural revolutions, multicultural and global communities, quantum leaps in telecommunications and computers, genetic engineering and solar-powered cars and other discoveries and inventions that might sound like science fiction to us today. That new school board member will no doubt add that in the last 30 years, the total available body of knowledge has more than doubled, and the class of 2019 will be duly impressed. But let's come back to the class of 1989. Science and technology will unquestionably play a major role in providing the possibility for improvement in the quality of everybody's lives. For you, literally and figuratively, the sky is the limit. However, as we approach the 21st century, we will also be faced with some stupendous problems. And if your generation is unable to solve these problems peacefully, life on Earth may be in serious jeopardy. You will have the awe-inspiring responsibility of making decisions, the outcome of which may be crucial to the survival of us all. It is absolutely essential that you, as members of a global society, show enough compassion for the Earth to assure that it endures. Environmental consultant Norman Meyer said recently, "No generation in the past has faced the prospect of mass extinction within its lifetime. The problem has never existed before, and no generation in the future will ever face a similar challenge if this present generation fails to get to grips with the task. Then the damage will have been done, and there will be no second try." Our society as a whole is already suffering from stress, anxiety, and depression produced by problems stemming from pollution, overpopulation, poverty and hunger, crime and drugs, not to mention the possibility of a nuclear disaster. These problems cannot be ignored. Indeed, they have to be confronted. And your responsibility will be to become part of the solution, not part of the problem. We have the talents and resources to advance civilization, said President Bush in a recent statement. Our scientists are probing the mysteries of the universe. Surely we can apply that same creativity, that same industry and perseverance to protect the environment of the Earth we all share. There are individuals in your graduating class who will rise to the challenges ahead, and their efforts will make an impact in shaping a world where we can reach a happy medium between improving living standards and protecting our environment. None of us, after all, would want to have our school board member in 2019 deliver his or her commencement address wearing a life support system because of the polluted air and because the 125-degree temperature at 9:30 a.m. due to the greenhouse warming effect. What quality of life would there be in Colorado Springs if people had all the gadgets in the world that technology could supply, but if they could only see Pikes Peak 3 times a year because of the dirty air? The road ahead will be full of obstacles, and making the right choices is not going to be an easy task. It is only natural that we want to retain in the future the quality of life that we have now. But there is a limit to what we can achieve. In the future, bigger may not necessarily be better. Indeed, less may be more. And the good life that Hollywood and the advertisement agencies all want us to have may in fact send us into a downward spiral towards oblivion. As we approach the 21st century, our individual desires and needs will have to be brought more into balance with the needs of society, and not just on a local, but in fact on a global scale. We need to develop a social conscience that takes into consideration the problems of the industrial nations as well as the misery of the underdeveloped countries. In one of the many brochures that our school district publishes, it states that our schools prepare students for the 21st century. The printed mission statement is to produce citizens who can effectively communicate, gather and use information, make responsible decisions, and adapt to the challenges of the future. Those are admirable and worthwhile goals, and I certainly support them. Adapting to the challenges of the future, to me, means a willingness to radically change our lifestyles and to seriously question the systems of values and priorities that have governed our existence to date. I cannot help but notice that while moral courage by students and citizens in Moscow and Beijing is on daily display, corruption, unethical behavior, and steamy sex rumors make the headlines in Washington, D.C. While Chinese students are massacred in their capital city because of their faith in democracy, Berkeley students in California are demonstrating for free condoms at the school clinic. But before I start to sound like a revolutionary, let me come back to that school district brochure. Our superintendent, Dr. Burnley, is quoted there. As we move into the 21st century, he says, every student in today's schools must master the skills necessary to be a productive member of society. And in closing, I want to list for you a number of those skills that I consider important. Practice these skills, and you should be well on your way to play an exciting part in the challenging world of the next century. Here they are. Be an activist, be informed, and vote. Insist on environmental protection and integrity. Cherish and be proud of your freedom. Be citizens of the world. Have compassion for your fellow man and the earth. Fight for what is right and just. Consider education as a lifelong process. It's your survival tool for the future. Read. Be patient, tolerant, and flexible. Be a sexually responsible person. Use the telephone less and write more letters. Conserve energy. Develop your sense of humor. Turn off your TV and read some more. Recycle. Develop a good work ethic. Visit the Overlook and contemplate the beautiful scenery. Travel and broaden your horizons. This one is for Connie Larson. Learn a foreign language. Plant a tree and ride your bike. The planet will bless you for your consideration. Become part of the solution. Don't be part of the problem. And above all, enjoy life. I wish you happiness and success. Viel Glück und auf Wiedersehen.
At this time, we will confer the diplomas upon the graduates, beginning with the graduates on stage. First of all, our valedictorian, Michelle Lee Jensen. Our salutatorian, Dawn Marie Schmidt. President of the student body, William Joseph Bradley. Our senior speakers, Melissa Roseanne Schwab. Mia Hadar Shapiro. Colin Thor West. Christine May Adkins. Anthony Alex Alacron. Brad Allen Algrim. Alexander Infante Alagran. Shayla Lynn Allred. Shay Lee Anderson. Chet Lee Christopher Adkins. James Brett Austin. Nicole Lynn Babcock. Ruth Joanne Baca. Laura Marie Bagala. Janine Marie Bailey. Kimberly Ann Baker. Terrence Christopher Bailey. Blake Anthony Beard. Sharon Annette Becker. Kara Lynn Benchwick. Brenda Sue Berryman. Edward Blythe Bever III. Jason Robert Bills. Jonathan Shane Blattler. Jimmy Dale Bloom Jr. Amy Kathleen Bloom. Tina Kaylin Boddicker. Anthony James Bogart. Eric Curtis Bowles. Leanne Bowes. Kylene Renee Bradley. David K. Branton. Jason Dwayne Bright. Mason Max Brown. Christopher Lee Brunt. Darren Wayne Bryson. Gregory Allen Birch. Kristen Margaret Bush. Kimberly Joy Calloway. Dawn Marie Camp. James Douglas Campbell. Jeffrey Charles Can. Dewey Dean Carlisle. Kevin Michael Casey. Jennifer Lee Castaneda. Stacy Ann Castle. Michael James Caton. Robert Arden Cheeseman. Lynette Elizabeth Chester. Daniel David Gachello. Michelle Lee Clark. Robert Edward Clark. Patricia Lynn Clark. Randall Arland Collins. Connie Francis Contreras. Francisco Thomas Cordova Jr. Julian Feliciano Cortez. Mark Anthony Costa. Jennifer Ellen Covert. Peter Jerome Croak. Susan Renee Crone. Ronald Lee Davison. Jackie Lee Day. Gregory Allen Decker. Dorian Noel DeLong. Cynthia Sophie Dent. Kevin James Depp. Neil Allen Deutsch. Audrey Diaz. Clint Richard Dilley. Dustin Edward DeVito. Mark Russell Dix. Wendy Sue Drobzlecki. Tammy Louise Durazio. Susan Janine Dover. Patrick Adam Dunda. Joseph Frank Durham. Derek James Duval. Angela Christine Dwyer. Matthew Carl Eck. Matthew Philip Eklund. Nicole Ingelke. William Troy Ensler. Charlotte Ann Espinoza. Karen Elizabeth Evans. Catherine Ann Fava. Nathaniel Paxson Weiss. Todd Lane Fields. Shannon Christine Finn. Heather Joe Firestein. Richard Louis Fouché. John Scott Foster. Charles Michael Gaona. Phil Joseph Michael Garcia. Kathleen Shannon Garman. Aaron Daniel Gidley. Brian Allen Goosens. Catherine Elizabeth Goller. Kimberly Don Gonzalez. Jennifer Eileen Gray. Rachel Jean Gray. Crystal Ann Green. Tanya Renee Griffey. Marcus Harold Grundy. Douglas James Grabowski. Gizzy! Susan Michelle Gungler. Jeremiah Brian Hegstrom. Jennifer Ellen Hall. Jill Lynn Hanson. Julia Lynn Hanshire. Donald Math Harbert. Jody Lynn Harburn. David Allen Hardrick. Kara Lynn Harmon. Ski Harris. Stacy Inez Hart. Tammy Sue Harwood. Eric Anthony Hawkins. Stephanie Lee Hedstrom. Sean Marie Helton. Burton Lee Hingler. Kelly Ray Henson. Timothy Scott Hoder. Harold Jean Honeycutt. Jonathan James Hoppa. Charles Merritt Howden. Laura Christine Howard. Mark Andrew Huff. Scott Anthony Hufford. Connie Sue Hilton. Kevin Howell. Kimberly Dawn Hilton. Kelly Eileen Jefferson. Tara Diane Jimerson. Lisa Diane Johnston. David Mark Johannesson. Paula Ann Hugema. Matthias John Casper II. Toshia Okono. Leslie Ann Kazmarek. Kimberly K. Keir. Janelle Lee Keller. Jennifer Lynn Kelly. Charles Jeffrey Kirk. Danica Marie Coaches. Sana Michelle Kohut. Diana Wilhelmina Kutz. Lisa Kawada. James Barnes Lacey Jr. Denise Elizabeth Lambert. Wendy Lee Lane. Michelle Ray Lang. Tiffany Jean Lang. Ryan Dixon Lemming. Chang Hon Lee. Heather Ann Leopizzi. Tyree Danelle Luthauser. Denise Ann Lavassour. Kari Aiku Lewis. James Daniel Lindquist. Susan Lynette Linko. Scott William Lombard. Cassandra Marie Lundo. David Joseph Lucero. Elisa Christine Ludwig. Bridget Renee Lynch. Jennifer Terrell Macon. Mark David Majors. Michael Andrew Markley. Stephen Scott Martin. Carl Martinez. Eric Martinez. Line Karine Martinson. Angela Mazel. Jason Del Matus. Matthew Hoffman May. Robert Francis McCann. Judith Lynn McCarl. Sean Christopher McDaniel. Thomas Regan McDowell II. Damon Edward McIntosh. Kimberly Patrice McKee. Kyle Leslie Mears. Erica Lee Magnus. Stephen Thomas Masel. Tanya Renee Matheny. Michelle Ann Metchke. Tricia Faye Metz. Jennifer John Meyer. Michael Foster Mills. Paul Franklin Mockerman. Stephanie Michelle Mockerman. Shira Ann Moncrief. Deborah Lee Mops. Audrey Erica Morgan. Jennifer Marie Mueller. Jennifer Lynn Murphy. William Ray Myers. Sherry Ann Nuvarez. Joe Min Nguyen. Tang Hugh Nguyen. James Howard Noxon. Kathleen Mary O'Brien. Denise Renee Odell. Jamie Keith Olson. Stacy Lynn O'Mara. Christopher Raymond Ostrom. Michelle Lee Pace. David Dion Paget. Ray James Paramore II. Cammie Michelle Pignotti. Holly Page Parker. Helen Celicia Patterson. Sean Michael Pearson. Roxanne Marie Pedrosa. Jeffrey Brent Perdue. Eric Dale Pearlswig. Jeffrey Patrick Price. Michael Neil Rydell. Joseph Ray Ralston. Rosa Maria Ramos. Sean Andrew Rapjack. David Benjamin Rathbun. Philip Christian Renninger. Brian James Reed. Paula Marie Reinhardt. Denise Marie Renzo. Marcus Todd Reinhardt. Christopher James Riggs. Christine Elizabeth Roberts. April Ann Rodenbeck. Vicki Jo Roman. Brian Wayne Ruby. Michael James Rupp. Karen Ann Russell. Thomas Richard Rutledge. Sterling Joseph Sable. Stephen Michael Cellini. James Lee Sandoval. Lori Janine Scarborough. Clay Allen Shiverdecker. Clinton Bryce Shiverdecker. Denise Marie Schmidt. Christine Elizabeth Schrader. Allison Louise Schuler. Christy Diane Scott. Michael Lee Scott. Eric Frederick Shields. Lynn Annette Shrewsbury. Danette Jean Sifford. Jane Marie Simmons. Tricia Lee Smelker. Denise Marie Smith. John Chester Sodders III. Heather Rochelle Spalding. Jennifer Ann Spinozzi. Eric John Stanky. Stephen Neil Stiegel. Deona Marie Stevenson. Laura Sandra Steinmeier. Lanisa Renee Stokes. Nicole Arlene Simburis. Anne Elizabeth Zemansky. Stephen James Tafoya. Randall Scott Tarr. Daniel Blaine Taylor. Elizabeth Ann Taylor. Michelle Louise Terhune. Kenneth Dale Teskey. Michael Jared Throw. Christina Rochelle Thomas. Donald Scott Thomason. Celeste Jean Thrower. Regis Anthony Silas Tornabene. Sarah Catherine Van Hondel. Derek John Van Rensingler. Todd Dale Bagno. Paul Vargas. Melissa Ann Villa. Lisa Marie Villalpando. Robert Matthew Villalpando. Terry LaDon Vanyard, Shane Douglas Voss, Laura Elizabeth Wadley, Christine Lynn Wagner, Laura Diane Walker, Roberta Marie Weaver, Kevin Eugene Weed, Megan Lee Widener, Gwendolyn K. Weil, Susan Elizabeth Whiteman, Troy Allen Wilkerson, Rebecca Jeanette Wiley, Chancey Joe Wilson, Jennifer John Worlton, Scott Aaron Wright, Valerie Noel Wolf, Stacy Lynn Wyatt, Christy Lee Higdon Young, Laura Catherine Zemkus,
It's not a pretty face. This is an ascot to stand. Yes.
Will Coronado's graduating class please stand? Move your tassel from the left to the right to symbolize the passage of our graduation and to show that we are now Coronado's graduated class of 1989. Hold on. Relax. Now, Reverend Keith Hitstrom has one last thing to say.
One last word. Let us pray. Father in heaven, you have entrusted to us as parents, teachers, families, and instructors these young people. And we thank you for all the time and memories that we've had together. Today, however, we give them back to you. For today, they are no longer just our children. They belong now to you and to the world. Guide, we pray, these graduates into all truth and wisdom and love. For in truth they shall know freedom. In wisdom they shall know success. In love they shall know the joy of service. For their good and for your glory. Amen.
Well done. You have so many nice things.
I know I